Hey guys, I'm hanging out here in the garden and I just thought about a subject I wanted to share with you guys. Um, it just dawned on me that, people would come to my channel and go, man, all she talks about is gardening and God. But you know what? That's my life. I should have named my channel Gardening and God. I really should have. But, I put our family name because that's who we are. So yeah, I'm just sitting here and I just wanted to share with you guys that there's so much more to my life than just gardening and God, but those are the two most special subjects of my life. And so being in my garden brings me closer to God, I should say, because with Him and through Him, I'm able to grow things and I feel fulfillment. So being said, it just feels wonderful to be able to sit here and just see everything nice and flourishing and just full of life. There was a time in my life where I was just unfulfilled. I didn't feel like I could have ever have accomplished so much. And it's just a beautiful thing to see something thriving that you worked so hard for. So yeah, with that being said, I like to share it, and I love meeting people who are into gardening, and I love people who are into God. So I'm not some sort of person that only has those two specific interests, but those are the two topics on this channel. Um, I've gone through a lot in life. I've been through just about anything you can think of. Like if you bring up a subject, I will literally be able to relate to it. And I know that sounds crazy, but I've had a very, very full life. And with that being said, God bless whoever those sirens are going after. Um, with that being said, guys, you come to a point in your life where you're just seeking peace. You're just seeking comfort and things that bring you joy. And I think you're actually doing that your whole life, but you don't realize it. But once you hit your mid 40s, you really, really start seeking peace when you start getting like body aches and health issues and stuff like that. And, I really, really am grateful that I've been able to, design this little peaceful space in my life. It just feels so rewarding. There's so much reward in gardening because it's like, just about everything you put into it, you get out. Not every time. Now, sometimes, I've planted certain seeds that did not even grow whatsoever. And it's very disappointing. I put some various flower seeds like throughout the garden just like a couple of weeks ago, and nothing, not a single one grew. And I feel so heartbroken over that. But it's just, it's one of those things where you say, wow, what happened? Where did I go wrong? And you start to kind of internalize a little bit, thinking that you did something wrong. But for the most part, it's really up to God. It's His decision what's going to grow and what's not, and what's going to flourish and what's not. You do your part. You plant the seeds, and then if they don't sprout, then you just got to move on. Try again. Not everybody has been successful at growing from seed. A lot of people like to grow from a seedling or a sapling, you know what I mean? A plant that they just buy at the store that's already started, or, something that someone gave them or what have you. And for me, for the most part, I've been quite successful with starting seeds with so many different things. My loquat trees, my flamboyants, what else? My mango. Yeah, those all started from seeds. I mean, there's so many things. I'm just like looking around the garden trying to think. You know what else? My acerola, they started growing from seeds that I got like from up the road at the neighbors, because they have a couple of trees and they just don't care. So I just like grabbed them. And then a couple of other ones from Miami from a few years ago. And yeah, sometimes you are successful in starting from just a little seed, and sometimes you're not. So that's like a metaphor for what goes on in your day-to-day life, and you know in everything, like in relationships, in work, friendships, raising your children. Sometimes just planting the seeds not enough. sometimes you need a little bit of input from elsewhere, and you need some better soil, which means like better environment. Sometimes you need some better nutrition, like, fertilizer. Different things, like, therapy, for example, in life. There's just so many different things. And I've been recently watching another YouTuber named Dars, and she has been talking a lot about things that she's been feeling lately regarding being a single mom, a divorcee, and trying to raise her kids and work full time and so forth. And I'm gonna be honest with you, like, that has been an issue for me pretty much my whole adult life, because I never had a successful marriage until now. I actually was married a couple of times before, and it did not work out. And my personal opinion on that is that I was just choosing whoever chose me. I was accepting whoever said that they accepted me, and I didn't vet them. I didn't make the right choice. That's not to say anything bad about my ex-partners, but sometimes you're not seeing the big picture before you decide to settle down with somebody and have kids with them. And that's heartbreaking, because you think about how, it was for you as a child. Let's say if you came from a divorced couple, and, it's just like you're perpetuating that habit. And so I'm so glad and fortunate that I got to the point where I found somebody that really does match me for the first time. It's like my very first love, not like it is, it's my very first person that I just totally admire and adore and I look up to in so many ways. And I really suggest that if anybody is thinking about ever getting remarried after having unsuccessful relationships, by the way, you would think that I'm living in a really bad neighborhood with the police, but it's just a situation going on. I don't know. Sorry for the sirens. But anyhow, I'm just saying, if you ever think about getting remarried or you want to find the one, make sure it's somebody that you really admire, somebody that has things that you look up to them for, and somebody that you have that mutual admiration and respect for, and just build upon that. And try to find somebody that has a love for God, because you have to put God first, and that's very, very important. I'm nobody to sit here and give relationship advice, but I am someone to say that it is possible to have success after failure, even if you failed more than once, or even if you've had a failed relationship. I shouldn't say you failed, but even though you've had a failed relationship more than once, it's possible. You have to change your focus, and you have to switch gears and really focus on what you truly want and what you're really looking for. Anyways, just sharing those thoughts with you guys. I wish you well. I hope you have a great evening. And it's just so beautiful and like breezy tonight here. I just love it. Like really, really. And it's starting to sprinkle right now. So it's just like, wow. Wow, 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 wow. Yeah, guys. I wish you well. And, I hope that you find the peace that you're looking for in life. And I really hope that if you're struggling with anything, that you find God and just know that He has all the answers. They're all there, and He's just waiting for you to turn to Him. Have a great night.